Do you believe that you can go from self-hate to self-love? That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. My name is Terri Cole, and I have been a licensed psychotherapist, a transformation expert, and a relationship expert for the last almost 20 years. And I can tell you conclusively the answer to that question is yes. So I'm going to ask you to start with something. I want you to think about this morning when you woke up. Close your eyes, visualize it. You went into the bathroom, you turned on the light, and you looked in the mirror. And I want to know what you saw. Were you able to look right at yourself, or did you avert your eyes? Did you immediately start criticizing what you saw? Did you look at yourself with judgment, with disdain? Is it hard to even look at yourself? Or does the look in your eye seem familiar to you because it's a look that you've seen many times in your young life, coming towards you from your parents, from an older sibling, from a teacher, that look of judgment, that look of disgust? If you said yes to any of this, that is what self-loathing looks like. That's how it shows up. Okay, open your eyes. So let's talk about the other ways that it shows up in your life. Let's start with how you talk about yourself, how you talk to yourself. What language do you use? Are you nice? Or do you call yourself mean names? Do you say things like, I hate you, you're fat, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not the smart one, you're never going to be anything, you're never going to amount to anything? Again, negative phrases that you may have heard before. How else does self-hate impact your life? Well, it impacts every single solitary thing in your life. And right now it's informing every relationship, every job, everything is being informed by how much you love or hate yourself. How can it show up in your body? It's so much energy to constantly have that negative thought in your mind about yourself, the shame, the embarrassment of feeling like you're not worthy, that you don't matter. But the amount of energy that you have to physically expend to keep that going can create so much fatigue. You may feel exhausted. It also shows up in another physical way. Do you have a pit in your stomach? That feeling of foreboding, like something terrible might happen. That constriction could be in the middle of your chest, could be in the pit of your stomach. You can also get sick from feeling this way. You can actually get physically sick. Other ways that self-hate shows up in your life. Look at your finances. If you can never get it together financially, if you're always just scraping by, sometimes this is an indication of not valuing yourself, right? Not being able to show up for yourself, not being able to complete things can be an indication of you not thinking that you're worth very much. Also, let's look at who's in your life. How are your relationships? Because this is how it goes. When you have a low opinion of yourself, when you think that you're a piece of crap, when you don't think that you're valuable, you will inevitably attract other situations in your life, work situations, living situations, romantic relationships, friendships, that all completely agree with your low opinion of yourself. So you actually set the bar. So when you set the bar low, you attract all of the other people who recognize that in you and are like, yeah, I agree. You're not worthy. You're not valuable. You have to think about it this way, though. If you were raised with parents, did you have abuse in your home? People who called you names? Or were you neglected in your home? How could you possibly know how to really treat yourself in a loving way if this was never modeled for you? So let's just start off by saying the truth is, this is not your fault if you feel this way. But there is something that you can do about it. This is not a terminal chronic condition, or it doesn't have to be. You have to be willing to do something different. You have to ask yourself, are you willing to be coached? Because I am right here, right now in this video, going to coach you. I'm going to give you the 4 easiest strategies, actions that you can take today that will actually transform your own relationship from self-hate to self-love. So I want to talk a little bit more about the ways that this self-loathing may be impacting your life, because so much of the time we don't think about it. We think this is the way it is, or we're too ashamed of the way that we feel to actually tell anyone. Other ways that self-loathing shows up is wanting to numb your feelings all the time, right? Wanting to do something so you don't feel. So we use drugs, alcohol, Netflix, right? Deading, right? Gambling, being a loveaholic, a sexaholic. There's all these ways that we can distract ourselves from the way that we feel. If you had parents, it's not just parents who are verbally abusive or physically or sexually abusive, and that is horrible, of course, but there's other more subtle ways that you could have experiences in your young life that would negatively impact how much you love yourself. If you had parents who expected you to be perfect, perfectionism is so devastating to self-esteem because, of course, nobody is perfect. I had a client years ago who came to me. He was a successful actor. He was 25 years old, had already purchased his own apartment. He had tons of money in the bank. And he came to me because he ended up getting this autoimmune disorder that happens from too much stress. So why he said he was coming is that he wanted to be less stressed. So I wanted to understand what was stressing him out. And he was in a study course to take whatever course you have to take to get your MBA. He was applying to schools to actually get his MBA, which is a very, very hard degree to get. It's like a full-time, 2-year, insanely arduous experience. And so when I started asking him questions, that's when I found out what he did for a living. And as he's talking to me, I'm thinking he's super successful. Why are you getting your MBA? When he was at that point in time, he was employed in a full-time way as an actor. And he said basically that he's a loser. He hasn't done much in his life. And I was like, okay, this is definitely about something else, because how could he not see all of the things that he had done? He was such a nice guy as well. And then it comes out that he is from a very religious family and that he's gay. And the truth is, he was trying to get his MBA because his parents wanted him to get a real job. They didn't even acknowledge his success in the entertainment business. And so, after peeling back the layers of the onion, I was able to have him see that him getting his MBA would not change his circumstance, that he would still be gay, and that his religious family would still never accept him because of that. But the amount of self-loathing that this person had was a direct result of his parents rejecting him because of who he was. And so, of course, through our time together and our work together, listen, he's very happy now, happily married, has children, he and his husband. So, I mean, he worked it out through time, but we had to reveal what was actually going on. So much of the time, you may think you're just ambitious, but you may be working yourself to death to prove that you are worthy of love. And you may not be taking good care of yourself or valuing rest, or you may end up being sick, or you may be sick right now from this lack of self-care. But again, part of what this video is going to do, and the 4 tips that I'm going to give you, is peeling back the layers of that onion to really understand where this actually came from. Because we have to understand it to change it. The only way to change it is to understand it. Self-loathing just like self-love, does not just happen. It's the experiences that you had in your young life that absolutely informed how you feel about yourself now. So know that it's not some mystery. There are reasons that you feel the way that you do. It's not that you should know better. How could you possibly know how to love yourself, value yourself, if you weren't taught that by anyone? It is not your fault. But now you know that there are things that you can do to change it, and you have to get committed and be willing to do something different if you want a different result. Okay? So let's agree that that is what is happening in this video right now. Okay? You're willing to change something? Yes, you are. So let's start with, we've laid out all the reasons why and all the ways that self-hate negatively impacts your life. So now let's talk about things that you can do to change it. The first thing you need to do is be patient and gentle with yourself. It took your whole life to get where you are right now. You have had habitual thoughts, negative thoughts about yourself for all of time, right? So it's going to take more than this video for you to change those thoughts. But this video can be the beginning of you changing those thoughts. So, being patient with yourself and being gentle. All you're responsible for is what you do right now going forward. You can't know something that nobody taught you. So be kind. The second thing you need to do is you must police your thoughts. We have to figure out what are the negative things that you say all the time. For some people, it is such a habituated pattern of behavior, right? It happens reflexively, reactively, that you're not even aware that you're doing it. So I'm going to ask you to write down, what is it that you're hearing being said all the time? What is it that your mean girl, your mean guy in your mind is saying about you? Because the only way to change it is to know it. Once you write them all down, then you can look at them and know that that is bullshit. These things are not true about you. And the things that you can change, you have the power to change. So once you see them in black and white, you start to be much more aware of what it is that you're saying to yourself on a regular basis and what it is that you're saying to other people on a regular basis. So the next thing you want to do is you have to take stock of who is in your front row in your life. Are these people friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, husband, wife, siblings that are treating you badly? Have you led them to believe that it's okay to take advantage of you, to treat you like crap, to call you names, to scream? Because those relationships, the most toxic ones, I just want you to take stock of them, because you have to choose your front row incredibly carefully. Not everyone gets to be in the front row. Not everyone gets to be in the front row. You get that? You're going to start to be discerning about who gets the privilege, the honor of being in your life. And you have to be the decider on that. Now, the next thing I want you to do, and it might require you to just go with me. Just go with me on this, right? So this is something that I have all of my clients do, and it's a little bit of child within work. All of us have a child within us, right? Every stage of development that you experienced in your life where you felt hurt, where you were damaged, where somebody said something hurtful to you, that impacts you. And we get sort of stuck at different phases of development when we've had certain traumatic, emotional, physical, sexual experiences. Most people think or don't do this child within work, but I am telling you, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and it is crucial to do this work in order for you to go from self-loathing to self-loving. So, close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. And I want you to bring to mind an image of yourself as a child. You probably have a picture that you've seen. You might have a picture right near you. Bring that picture into your mind's eye. I want you to really see that kid. And I want you to start pouring love on that child. Looking at that kid who went through a lot of stuff, because everyone does, look at them with compassion, with understanding. Visualize yourself, your grown-up you, putting your arms around this little kid, bringing this child up into your lap, soothing them, comforting them, telling them that it's all going to be okay. Because if you do this work, it will all be okay. This child deserves love, deserves your love, needs your love. Okay, so you can open your eyes. This is an exercise. I want you to put that little picture of yourself, have it as your screensaver, put it on your phone, blow it up and put it in your bedroom, put it next to your bed. And every time you see that child, I want you to think about the fact that by virtue of that kid, which is you, being born, that child is absolutely deserving of love, kindness, consideration, your consideration. Do you have a niece, a nephew that you love? Do you have friends, kids that you love, your own kids? Would you expect an infant, a child, a toddler to do something? Do we make them make us dinner or throw a parade for us in order for us to love them? Of course not. We love them simply by virtue of the fact that they are alive. You were born deserving of love. It is full on your birthright to be loved. So, to help you remember the things that I taught you in this video, I've created a therapeutic guided meditation for you to do. All you have to do, the link is right below the video. All you need to do is click on the link, and I want you to do this meditation every day. It's a short meditation. The reason I want you to do it is that I want your unconscious mind to get the same memo about how to transform self-hate into self-love that your conscious mind just got. So when you're in a relaxed state of meditation, therapeutic meditation is something that's planting those seeds of self-love, of empowerment, of courage in your unconscious mind. Because it took a long time for you to create these neural pathways in your brain, right? These habituated thought patterns. And so let's make it happen twice as fast as we're laying down the positive thought patterns. And that's what a therapeutic meditation will do for you. I want you to know something. You can do this. I have helped thousands of clients in the past almost 2 decades do exactly what it is that you want to do, which is to value yourself, to respect yourself, to love yourself, to speak authentically, to draw boundaries in your life, to love yourself, to cherish yourself, and to have other people in your life do the same. And I am positive that you can do it. You just need an amazing coach. When it comes to all these things about love, remember, it is not magic. It is psychology.